Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Mr. Haddad. We're just going to go right ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and write down today's objective. Today's objective is I can solve equations and inequalities with variables on both sides. Okay, and then there's a little space for a hint. I'm going to go ahead and give you that hint right now. You guys go ahead and write this down. The hint is move the smaller variable. Okay? So, let's go ahead and write down number one. Number one is negative 8x plus 7 equals 4x minus 5. Okay? Now, this is the first time you're going to see something like this because anytime, or all the other problems that I gave you, always had a variable on either the left side only or on the right side only. Okay? Now, this time we have a variable on both left and right. The first step is always to make sure that both variables are moved to the same side. And then here's your hint again, move the smaller variable. Okay, now, we have negative 8x and we have positive 4x. What you need to do is move the smaller one. Now, we have negative 8 and 4. Now, 8 is a bigger number than 4, but negative 8, since it's negative, is actually the smaller one. So, since this is smaller, go ahead and label it as the smaller one. Alright, we're going to get rid of that one by adding 8x to both sides. Okay, these cancel and you have 7 comes down, 4 and 8 will get you to 12x, and we bring down the minus 5. Now what you see here is a two-step equation, which is something that you already know how to do. So let's go ahead and solve this two-step equation. We have 12 and 5 on the same side with x. Who's furthest away? Well, the 5 is. So let's get rid of the 5 and add 5 to both sides. The 5's cancel, and then you wind up getting 7 plus 5 is 12, and that equals 12x. We have one more step. That step is to divide both sides by 12, getting you x equals 1. Okay? So x equals 1. Now let's go ahead and check that x is equal to 1. By putting it into the original equation. So here's my check part. I'm going to write the original equation, but instead of x, I'm going to put parentheses. So negative 8 parentheses plus 7 equals 4 parentheses minus 5. Okay, now we said that x is 1. That's what's going to go into the parentheses right here and right here. We wind up getting negative 8 plus 7 equals 4 minus 5. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. There is your check. This is correct. Okay? Now number 2, right, is another equation. Alright, so let me write that down for you. The equation is 7x plus 15 equals 2x plus 5. Alright? Now don't forget to move the smaller variable. I want you to try this one on your own. Go ahead. Alright, so hopefully you got that one correct. Now the smaller variable is the 2x. So that's the one that I'm going to have to move to the other side. So I'm first going to subtract 2x from both sides. That's going to get me 5x plus 15 equals, these cancel, 5. Okay, now it's another two-step equation. What's furthest away from x? It's the 15. So let's subtract 15 from both sides. These cancel. 5x equals negative 10. Now we divide by 5. X equals negative 2. Alright? So let's go ahead and check our answer. Alright, so we have the original is 7 parentheses plus 15 equals 2 parentheses plus 5. Alright, the thing that we found was that x is negative 2. So I'll put my negative 2 in there and I'll put it right in there. So negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Then we're going to bring down the plus 15. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Bring down the plus 5. Negative 15, so negative 14 plus 15 is a positive 1. Alright, same thing on this side, you get positive 1. There's your check. So the answer is the x minus 2. Okay? Alright, now number 3 is an inequality. So let's go ahead and write down this inequality. We have 7 minus 7y is less than or equal to negative 3y minus 1. Okay, now this one's different because it's an inequality. So let's go ahead and again move the smaller variable. Now in this problem, the smaller variable is the -7 because you can see that both of them are negative. So this, since this is a bigger negative, it's actually smaller. So this is the smaller one, so I'm going to move that one first. How do I get rid of -7y? I'm going to add 7y. Okay, now this cancels the 7y's out. We'll bring down the 7. The less than or equal to will come down. Over here, -3y plus 7, that's going to get you 4y. All right, and we got the -1. Right? Now, again, two-step inequality. Right? What's the first step? Well, the first step is to get rid of what's furthest away from y, which is the -1. Let's add 1 to both sides. 8 is less than or equal to 4y. Now we can go ahead and divide both sides by 4. And then we get 2 is less than or equal to y. So let's go ahead and check so we can figure out what side to shade. Alright, so we have 2 is less than or equal to some number because that's where the y was, right? So if I put -100 in there, is 2 smaller than -100? No. If I put 100 in there, is 2 smaller than 100? The answer is yes. So here's my 2. Right, there is an or equal to bar right here, so it is a closed circle, and then we're going to shade where the 100 is. The 100 is on this side over here, so we're going to shade that way. Okay? Alright, now, we're going to do the same problem, but in this problem, we're going to do something a little different. Alright, so we're going to write this down. Let's do the same problem. Right, but this time move the bigger variable. Okay, and I'm going to show you why it's better to move the smaller variable by showing you what happens when you move the bigger variable. So again, I'm going to write the same as what I had here. So 7 minus 7y is less than or equal to -3y minus 1. Right? Now what I need to do here is I need to, in this case, I'm going to move the bigger variable, which is this one right here. Okay? So I'm going to add 3y to both sides. And right off the bat, you should see why I like moving the smaller variable first. The 7 comes down. This right here is -4y. That's the main reason right there. Less than or equal to, these cancel, we get the -1. Okay, so two-step equation, what I need to do is I need to get rid of this 7, right? -7 minus 7, you get -4y is less than or equal to -8. Now, the reason I don't like to move the bigger one is because if you do, you are always going to have to divide by a negative, okay? And a lot of times students forget when you divide by a negative, you change the sign to a greater or equal to. That cancels that out and you get y is greater or equal to a +2. Alright, now, again, you have to do something extra because you moved the bigger one. We didn't have to move the sign over here, we didn't have to flip it because we divided by a +4. But over here we have to because we divided by -4. So the check should still work. Let's go ahead and check it. So we have something is greater or equal to 2. Now if we put -100, it doesn't work. If we put 100, it does work because 100 is bigger than 2. Here's my 2 with my closed circle. Again, the 100 is on this side, so we're going to shade that side. Okay? Now number 5 is another inequality. So let's go ahead and write this down. The inequality is x minus 5 is less than -3x minus 9. So don't forget to move the smaller variable. Go ahead and do that on your own right now. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and do this problem together. Again, I hope you got it correct, but let's just go through it so that you can see. If you did get it wrong, you can see what you did wrong. Alright, the smaller variable in this one is the -3, because the number in front of x is 1, and -3 is smaller than 1. So that's the smaller one. That's the one I'm going to move. So how am I going to move it? Well, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Okay? That's going to get me 4x minus 5 is less than, these cancel, -9. Okay? Now we have a two-step inequality. The first step is to get rid of the 5, add 5 to both sides, these cancel. 4x is less than negative 4, divide both sides by 4, and then x is less than negative 1. Okay, so here's my negative 1, and this time I have an open circle because there is no or equal to bar up there. Alright, so let's go ahead and check this by putting something in for x that has to be less than negative 1. If we put 100 in here, is 100 smaller than negative 1? No. Is negative 100 smaller than negative 1? Yes, it is. So where is negative 100? It's on the side over here, so we're going to shade that way. Okay? Now, this is the last problem for you. We have 6 times x plus 4 equals negative 16 minus 2x. Okay? So go ahead and do this problem on your own, and then we'll go over it after you answer the question. Alright guys, so here we go. Again, hopefully you got it right, but if you didn't, let's go ahead and do this one together. Now in this one, we have distributing on both sides. So we distribute this first. So if you distribute the 6, you get 6x plus 24. Now this is a negative 1. Remember before we said if there's a negative in front of a parenthesis, it's really a negative 1 in front of there. And if you distribute this, you wind up getting negative 16. And then over here, negative times negative is a positive 2x. So now we have 2x and 6x. The smaller variable is the 2x. So that's what the one we're going to move. Okay, how are we going to move it? Well, we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. The 2x's cancel on this side. So we get 4x plus 24 equals negative 16. Alright, now, two-step equation. The first thing is I got to subtract the 24 from both sides. These cancel with 4x equaling negative 40. Divide both sides by 4, and then we get x equals negative 10. So let's go ahead and check this really quick. So we have 6 times negative 10 plus 4, and that equals negative 1 times 16 minus 2 times 10, negative 10. Alright? Alright, so hopefully you can see this when we move this a little bit more. Alright, so we have negative 10 and 4 that gets you negative 6. So 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Alright, over here, 16, these two become positive, plus 20 is 36. So this equals negative 1 times 36. Negative 36 equals negative 36. There is your check. Alright, see you guys tomorrow.